you guys can work on it?
Trying to think, because I have a bunch of other stuff up on my computer.
Oh,
Does somebody else mind sharing their screen?
I can do it.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome. When you're ready.
okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sarah Shearer. I am the chair of the Audit and Finance Committee of the Albany Public Library Board of Trustees. I'm calling this meeting to order. We're joined by my colleagues, Karen Strong and Thomas McCarthy, fellow trustees and members of the Audit and Finance Committee. We're also joined by Executive Director Scott Jarzombek, Assistant Director Melanie Metzger, Budget Manager Adam Stump, Administrative Assistant Rebecca Delgazo, and our attorney Robert Schofield. Is there any public comment?
No public comment. If anyone from the public wishes to make a comment, they're asked to email their comment before the meetings or even during at publiccomment@albanypubliclibrary.org. That's PUBLICCOMMENT. We also have established a new phone number. You could call and leave a voicemail at 518-290-6905. All this information has been updated on our website, and so far there's no public comment.
Thank you, Rebecca. We have one order of new business on our agenda for today, and that's to review the request for proposal for our board treasurer position. So I think with that, we'll just dive in to the RFP. And thank you, Karen, for marking it up in Google Docs ahead of time. That was really helpful.
There we go.
Perfect. And actually, I have a question just before we start going through this. I guess for Bob specifically, do we have to require applications come in via paper, or are we able to request applications electronically?
Well, that question sort of begs a more direct question. That is applications versus proposals, which are two different things. So if we're really looking for individuals, we can call it an application. I think we also wanted to open it up to small firms that would assign an individual, as I recall the discussion, which is why I sort of had bracketed proposal throughout. If it's the latter, well, that thinking isn't true. We may be able to do something electronically now that I think about it, because we're really not bidding here, so we don't have to be as strict about these requirements. Let me chew on that a little bit, Sarah, and let me just see if there's any reasons that we have to be careful there. But I'll answer you before the end of the meeting.
Yeah, no problem. I just saw please submit 6 copies, and I'm like, we're probably the
That's
trustees.
because we were
we're
really
get
approaching this as an RFP, and
Yep.
As an RFP, we wouldn't want to do something electronic necessarily, but we might be able to do something.
No, and just in that case, maybe we only require 1 or 2 hard copies, because I figure the rest of us, it'll just get scanned in and sent to us. So I just wasn't sure that we were actually going to use 6 hard copies. But like I said, minor issue. I was just curious.
I'm also curious about proposal versus application, because I think it's certainly reasonable for a single person to submit a proposal. So
yeah, no, it really, and it's almost preferred in some ways, because once we get the whole firm submitting, it gets us close to that thing that the controller's office doesn't want us to do. Now we can clean it up. We know how to do it. Which is why I didn't just make the change throughout. I flagged it for a conversation.
So I would be supportive of proposals, but I do think we need to explicitly say firms may apply, but they have to appoint a single person.
And if you have firms applying, they're going to be expecting to tell you how much they want to be paid, whereas applicants are more likely to be interested in, what you're going to pay them.
I think one of the comments I had related to that is we could say, instead of just your cost proposal, say, tell us your hourly rate and here's approximately the number of hours we expect you to work a month, but it depends on, all these other things just to help people out. So that gives a little more guidance to individuals, but then the firms can tell us how much they want us to pay them.
Number of hours per month is a good idea. And I think Adam had some thoughts on what it would not be more than. I don't know if we can really give them a sense of what it really will be, but we could certainly put an upper limit on it.
Right, or range, because it's not always the same, right? Because around audit time, it's going to be a little bit more. And when they start out, it might be a little bit more.
Yeah, but that's the reason I wouldn't do a range. I would just say, is not expected to exceed X.
Okay.
In any given period or whatever.
So then starting from the top, should we make that decision and should we just keep proposal and remove application, or?
We can do it that way, and then we can add a phrase somewhere that we're seeking applications from individuals or firms who are willing to designate an individual.
And then I'm just pulling up my calendar here.
Hey, Sarah, or whoever's editing.
It's me.
That's Karen. If you want to just highlight one of those, and we can just do a global search and replace at some point. You don't even need to do it now. I'll catch it when we do the next pass through.
Okay, and then where do we put the? I feel like that firm individual thing should be close.
So you see right on the second paragraph, there's a bracketed individuals/firms.
No.
A treasurer for the library board of trustees, first sentence.
Yes. Okay.
Same thing. Highlight that, and that I'll remember to make that change there.
Perfect.
I was just pulling up my calendar because I see we have to select a date when RFPs will be received until. I know from the auditor one, it's 4 weeks from when it was posted was how we set the deadline. Do we think that we're going to be able to get through this today and post this by Monday?
I would think so.
Okay, so if it gets posted on Monday, May 24th, 1, 2, 3, 4, they would be due by Monday, June 21st.
You don't have to keep it out 4 weeks if you don't want to.
I thought RFPs were required to be out 4 weeks, no?
Not that I'm aware of.
Question, is there any, for RFPs, is there any minimum time?
No, I don't think so. And sometimes they're, very quick turnarounds, like 7 days, depending on what the thing is for.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen some that are very quick turnaround, but
I mean,
honestly,
by the way, 4 weeks may not be a bad number. I'm just saying, I don't think it has to be that long if you're trying to align it with something else.
So if you're going to try to have a meeting, if you get enough applications, try to have a meeting before the July meeting, is that good? Or do you want to move it back a week and have it open for 3 if that?
Yeah, I'm just not sure how many proposals we're going to receive because the one we're trying to align it with is the auditor RFP. Those will be due 2 weeks earlier on Monday, June 7th. So we just, as a committee, have to meet at some point. I figured we could have one meeting to go over all of the RFPs for both the auditor and the treasurer. And then we would make a recommendation for the full board meeting in July. So we would still have a couple weeks after the 21st to meet. So I don't think we would be in a rush if we kept it out those 4 weeks, but we could move it up. I'm just not sure on how many.
It strikes me that you're going to want to interview the treasurer candidates. So just be thinking about that. You know, whether you need to interview an auditor or not is up to you. But for a treasurer, I would think you're going to want to interview the people.
So then 3 weeks may make more sense to collect and then have enough time to interview.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Oh,
is probably
this is
long enough.
questions. Sorry, this is questions. So that isn't the right spot. Sorry.
I wouldn't make it 5 p.m. because that means you're going to have somebody sticking around at the library. I wouldn't make it any later than 4. Unless it's going to be electronic, in which case it really doesn't matter because you'll have a date stamp on it.
Could be drop off the guy in gray Honda Civic waiting in the parking lot.
Does it say, oh, okay, this might be moot if we go electronic, which would be my preference too, but there's 7 branches. Do we say where they have to go?
Oh, I thought we put Washington Avenue somewhere, but maybe we didn't.
It says that, but it doesn't say that we have to drop it off. It just says, well, let's hold that. Let's make it.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to do it electronically, then it doesn't really matter. I mean, I don't know if we want to. This goes to your digital divide issues. Do you want it to be solely electronic? On one hand, this person is going to have capacity to be able to use, electronic equipment. On the other hand, you are consistently aware of that issue.
Yeah, but the reason we're replacing the treasurer is because of technological incompetence. So I'm comfortable with either one. As long as there's no requirement that we have to offer it in certain ways, I would feel fine with any method.
Yeah, I'm okay with electronic also, especially with libraries being open again. Somebody can come in and, submit. Really, I think they would just have to have an email address. But I also like that electronic gets time stamped. And if it were going to come to me, for example, as the chair of this committee, I would absolutely respond to each applicant noting that it's been received, just because I know that's what I like to get when I submit something electronically, just, confirmation of receipt. I always get nervous putting things in the mail. So after that paragraph, which we can circle back to on the electronic issue, I'm just seeing if there's anything else we would like to amend in that paragraph. We mentioned Washington Ave, if they are hard copies. The next paragraph, all proposals applications shall be irrevocable for a period of at least 60 days from the proposal application deadline date. All proposals shall be prepared in accordance with these instructions to receive consideration. Official contact. Any questions concerning this request for proposal should be submitted via email to, would that be me? Since it's the board treasurer. I mean, I'm fine making it me. I just wasn't sure if there were other opinions on this or, thoughts of where it should go, but I'm fine having it be the chair of the Audit and Finance Committee.
I don't think there's any reason that it can't be. It would ordinarily be a staff person employee just so that there's an ability to respond during the day. But I guess for this purpose, your point's a good one, Sarah, that it is really a board report.
That was my suggestion too. Any other?
I think that makes sense.
Okay. You can keep talking. I can catch up.
All questions should be submitted in writing to the above email address no later than how far in advance of the deadline should the question, I mean, I don't mind taking questions up until the deadline date. That's fine with me.
Usually you would do it sooner so that you can post the answers and other people could see it, right? So you give them a week.
Okay.
That would be Memorial Day. Maybe you should give it June 1st. That work?
It works.
So you're going to have questions. If this thing is going to hit on Monday, the 24th, you're going to have questions a week and a half afterwards, and then it's submitted another basically 2 weeks after that. I would say questions should be submitted no later than the 7th. Because you'll be able to answer them quickly.
But do as a public entity with the procurement law, do we have to publish them publicly?
You don't
not
have to. Usually what you do is
And the 7th is a Monday.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm looking at July. I'm sorry, guys. My dates are all off then. I just totally looked at the wrong thing. Sorry about that. So maybe you could do the 4th, Friday the 4th. And then they'd be up for the most of the week.
Selection of proposal. Following criteria, qualifications, experience, references, price. Oh, and then I see Karen's question, do we have to choose the lowest bidder? I don't think we're obligated to. It's just a criteria.
You're absolutely not obligated to.
Okay.
Yes, and then you wanted to move this one up to the top, right? The clarification, affirm, need to clarify the firm.
We can say it twice.
Okay.
I just noted also that it's a preference to be given to local, and then I don't know, we don't have a MWBE policy.
We do not.
That would be more of a company and a firm versus individual. I don't even know if it makes sense in this case, but I had that thought.
Now, so that preference will be given to local applicants firms. That's in brackets, so that's a question. Do you want that included or not?
I would prefer a local applicant. If we request attendance at meetings or, they have to come in and sign the checks, I think local makes sense.
So you
Yeah.
might want to change that from bold, and you might want to change local to applicants from within the city of Albany or within the county of Albany, something that defines that a little bit more.
I want to call them potential treasurers. That doesn't sound right.
I would say to
Candidates?
applicants or firms located within the city of Albany, if that's what you're trying to accomplish. Or resident within the city of Albany, maybe.
I think that's fine.
Ownership of documents, I'm fine with. Confidentiality of information. Information provided shall be treated as confidential. I'm okay with that clause. RFP awards.
There's an extra on there. We need to get rid of that on in general specifications. It should be serve the library board of trustees, not serve on.
Right. I was, do you think we can keep clarifying it's an individual? Like seeking an individual to serve as treasurer of the library board of trustees?
I think those things that we're going to add will clarify who can apply. I mean, the reality is if Acme Accounting applies and doesn't designate the person, you're just not going to choose them.
Okay.
For the scope of services, Karen, you wanted to link a list to the financial policies.
I just had that thought. They're not all in one place, right? There's 2 pages of policies.
Oh, internal and external.
No, actually, I didn't look. I don't know if they're all in one place.
We could either say something general as found on the APL website under policies, or we could be more specific than that.
Are the procedures available there too? Because then I can just put it at the end as that available on.
No, I
website.
don't think procedures are public facing. I think just the policies are.
Okay, I'm just gonna add a sentence at the end.
I like that. And then the rest of this was part of the description that we've reviewed, reporting specific duties. I see the notes under the expectations paragraph, changing $10 million to the numerical figure instead of written out. And then you added that last sentence, Karen, explaining that the treasurer is a public officer and is required to take the oath of office.
Yeah, I feel like we should make sure people know that. Are you okay with the number?
Mhm.
How about this? Is this appropriately worded? If you want to.
I'm okay with it. I wasn't sure if Bob was going to weigh in.
Oh, it's fine. That was the change I was going to make, is to change the to Ann. Did we finalize the $1 million, or did you guys lower it to 750?
I saw that in brackets also. I don't remember if we lowered it. We could say up to an amount of $1 million and give ourselves flexibility.
I thought we chose 1 million, but I don't remember.
I feel like we finalized 1 too. And that's in the job spec. That came right out of the job spec. So
Yeah.
And then this is where you wanted to add the expected number of hours a week or month.
good place to put it.
Expectations. $2 million.
Adam, did you have an idea of the?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've gone on record before as saying that the work could probably be done in like 2 hours a month, but I don't know if you want to go that low for the purpose of this document. I mean, previously the treasurer worked anywhere from maybe 8 to 12 hours, maybe even more, 8 to 15 hours a month, but
I would say set an upward limit of time spent in the performance of duties is not expected to exceed 20 hours per month. And that way you've got a window, but at the same time you have a limit.
And yeah, I would say 20 hours per month. That would really only be applicable during audit time, or possibly at the beginning of their term while they're still learning. But
yeah, it's 5 hours a week is really what you're talking about, right?
And I don't even think that's I think more realistically it's about 4 to 6 hours a month.
Mm-hmm.
And how are we asking people to, like when people submit their price, are they submitting an hourly rate or a flat rate? Because
we're going to get down there right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think if 20 is more than we need, that's fine. I think we just want to give an upper limit and also give a sense. Even 20 hours per month isn't that much.
But, and one thing I want to add is an hour or two, because Adam and I are going to be meeting with this individual probably once a month before the board meeting. So, I wouldn't 100% base it on Chuck's hours, which I don't think Adam has, but I definitely would like to meet with the treasurer like I have in past positions regularly.
And if they are going to attend all the board meetings and all the finance committee meetings, I mean, that tax on some hours. So I still think 20 is a little high for a normal month, but 10, 12 hours maybe wouldn't be out of the question.
Yep.
If that's the case, I'm comfortable with not expected to exceed. Just so that.
Because that'll capture audit season and the heavy season.
Right.
Okay, I'm okay with that too.
So can I just suggest, Karen, drop that sentence down to a separate paragraph and make it bold?
Okay, and you know what we should also, we already say meet with the committees. Should we say those meetings are in the evening, or is that so obvious we don't need to say it?
They should, if they're doing this application, they should know. We should check.
Just on that bullet, go up to that bullet and just add a sentence. Committee and board meetings may occur outside normal business hours.
The other two paragraphs, knowledge and training and experience, we did those as part of the description. I see the edit, bachelor's needs an S.
No?
No, bachelor degree. Not possessive.
Okay. What's prevailing time?
You say prevailing time just because of times daylight savings time, but since we know that when this is going to be, you can do it as Eastern daylight time.
Did we say the 14th?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to just add Monday, June 14th?
Yes.
They should be flying their flag too.
Pride Day? Or Flag Day?
It's Flag Day.
Is today Flag Day?
No, June 14th is
Oh, okay.
the day they're gonna.
Oh, yeah, it's right in front of me. Sorry.
Yeah, can we give extra points for flag stickers? Okay. I know I'm not getting all of these, Bob. I just figured, well, we're not saying anything.
Yeah, I'm okay with adding APL.
Yeah. Now.
So I don't know if the treasure candidate is the right word, but contact person just seemed like we want the contact information for the person who it's going to be, not just anyone in the office. So how would we say that?
Yeah, name, address, and telephone number of candidate.
Bob, I'm assuming that you're thinking about whether that's accurate or not, but I don't know if that's. Are you? What do you think about treasure candidate? Is that appropriate or?
Well, I mean, it just depends on who's applying. You know, if it's company, they often will have a person who's designated to receive contacts on RFPs. But I don't care if you specify it this way.
Okay. But I think we want the person to talk to the person, not some other random person in the office.
Well, you do, but this is just how you reach them, right? So if Acme Accounting submits, they may want you to call their marketing manager, not the actual person, to respond to a thing. But I don't care. It's not. I don't have a strong feeling. I see why you're changing it.
Sarah, Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm okay with the candidate.
Yeah, me too. I'm okay with either one.
And in the next bullet, it seemed like it was just very generic, and I just wanted to add specifics to help. I do proposals, so I like to help people. Maybe if firms are doing this, it might be easy, but I'm hoping we're helping individuals.
Yeah, I'm okay with those changes.
I think it should say relevant to required knowledge skills.
Oh, there's space here. Okay, good. So this is where we were talking how to help people figure out how much to charge us or what to tell us about that. And it's people who are like firms who are very experienced are going to know how to do this.
Can you scroll down for me, Karen? I just am trying to remember what the bid form looks like. I wanted the one above there. I'm sorry. I'm trying to just give me a quick read. Hold on. Yeah, now. Quite honestly, I've got to revise this because you're absolutely right. It's not at all clear what we're looking for them to do. So we can do that here, or I can give you a markup when I send you the clean thing back.
What do you mean?
We've got to. What we need to make it clear to them that we want them to bid an hourly per hour basis. And whether there are any other reimbursable charges that we would allow them to submit. It's definitely an hourly rate, though. We don't want. I don't think we want flat rate bidding.
No, I can't think of anything in the scope of the treasurer's work that we'd want flat rate for.
And would it be typical to allow them to charge for travel or not?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
Not if you're treating them as an employee.
We're not treating them as an employee, though.
No, but I mean, you are in a lot of ways, right? You want a person assigned to you guys to do it. They're coming from within the city. You know, I wouldn't allow that.
Okay.
I wouldn't put travel in, but things, if they had to, for example, mail things for you or what have you,
Okay.
that might be reasonable. Copies, why would they do those anywhere other than the library though? We actually might want to specify there that, you know, it is expected the work will be performed in the library.
But all of it,
I don't know.
Adam?
Check signing has to be performed at the library.
Check signing, I would say bank reconciliations should probably be done in the building.
You're otherwise going to have to give them remote access to your accounting system. That's really the biggest issue. If that's not a concern, then, you know, fine. But
And I mean, meetings, you know, if they're going to meet with Scott and I before a board meeting, that could be done virtually, I think.
So
But
yeah,
like
we should add that.
during the audit, I mean, I would expect them to be in the building.
That'd be under expectation. Yeah, it'd be under expectations.
you put it right with that bolded sentence.
Should I say most of the work?
Yeah, I was going to say, in general, work as the library's treasurer will take place in the library.
My last comment was about references. Usually they say how many.
Yeah, you could put a number in there.
Typically 3.
3. I was being nice and said 2, but I don't care.
And the RFPs, it's often larger. So, I would say at least 3, maybe 5, but 3 is good.
There's plenty. Just do we want to say?
Yeah, that 3 references who are familiar with your, with
Work
the applicant's
product.
ability in this area.
Okay, that's ugly, but we can keep going. I guess we're done. I'm happy to accept suggestions here. It's a very awkward sentence, but otherwise, is there anything else? Are we about done here? I know, Bob, you said you need to rework it.
Yeah, and I'll tinker with a couple things like that. But basically, for the board treasurer's duties, and then I'd put and who may be contacted.
Could you change? It's the end of the sentence for board treasurer duties. Could we just put?
Yeah, we're gonna futz with it for sure. We'll figure that word out.
It's the use of expertise and experience together.
Mhm.
Always makes things wonky when you read them aloud.
Yeah, I was just trying to be consistent.
No, it's good. I understand, but the sentence makes sense.
It's okay. Thanks for looking at it, Bob.
And then I would accept the change under other information. So with that, do we go back to the discussion of whether we want to accept proposals electronically or hard copy?
I thought that was something Bob was checking on. What's appropriate?
I said I'd give you an answer towards the end. It's
Oh.
in my mind, it's unusual for these things to be submitted electronically, but I think that's really just because people haven't changed yet. I don't see any reason that we couldn't have somebody submit this in a PDF. The problem is what happens if they submit it in a format that we can't open? It's probably better that we have them submitted in hard copy. And we don't, to your point, Sarah, the only reason you say 6 is so that you don't have to do the copying and scanning. But if your intention is that library staff will receive it and scan them, that's fine. Or you could say 6 copies and a thumb drive containing it, or 1 copy and a thumb drive containing a PDF of the proposal.
I wouldn't request a thumb drive.
Yeah, me neither. No, I don't think we need 6. We definitely don't need 6 copies.
No. I mean, can we request 1 hard copy and an electronic? Or is that too complicated because you're asking?
No,
for
you totally
different...
can, but you can't. If you're going to have them give you a hard copy, they're going to have to give you that electronic in media, not in an email.
Why?
Because they're going to different places. They're going to be received at different times.
Oh, so it's what? Yeah, I understand what Bob's saying.
which
But
is
as
the
long as they're,
submission,
Why does that matter?
because
as long as,
because they have to be submitted by a certain date and time. So
But
I
as long
deliver
as
my
they're-
hard copy, it's fine, but the email doesn't get to you until 3 hours later. Is that submitted?
No, they both have to be submitted by the deadline.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna have an electronic, and there's fine, I think it's very normal, and I don't think it's that hard for somebody to put the thumb drive in with the hard copy if you want something electronic. That's pretty common. If you want to submit it electronically solely, then I would suggest that we either have them email it or submit it up as a portal.
I would
Is
prefer
the-
this electronic via email. As long as that's appropriate.
I don't think it's inappropriate. It's just,
Okay.
it's new. And then we have to figure out where it's going to go.
I think it would come to me. And then I would share it with the committee.
and
I think that makes sense again.
at least Adam, right? He would be, if not, also Scott.
Mm,
No.
I mean, if you know, again, if you're going to submit it electronically, I think one place so that when they do it, they know it's done.
Yeah, that's not what I meant. Sorry. I
Oh,
definitely
you
meant
mean
one
who
place.
she's going to circulate it to? Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since, I mean, with Sarah having an official Albany Public Library email address, I think that's fine if that's what you want to do. What if somebody sends you a Word document and it's supposed to be PDF?
I mean, I have Word, so it's fine. I can read or open or convert anything that people send me. I can figure out how to do that.
But we should be telling them what the format that we're accepting is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would prefer PDF. Again, that also tips us off to how technologically savvy the candidate is. Do they know that there are free Word to PDF converters online? Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say submit it via email in PDF format. But if I receive it in Word, it's still readable. I can convert it before I send it out and share it with the committee. It just, mental note, it wasn't, following the instructions.
I would not do that if I were you. I think if you receive something that's not in a format, I think you should talk amongst yourselves as a committee as to whether you're going to accept that or not. Because these, you are, and somewhere in this thing, it says we have the right to waive, we have the right to reject. So I would do it that way. Like, I wouldn't just assume that if you got it in the wrong format, I will just fix this. You might want to bold the in PDF format.
Right.
That all looks good.
Yeah, that covers it.
I'll go through and make sure that's all consistent.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So we did it.
So Karen, if you would just save that and then email it to me.
Yep. I'm gonna stop sharing before I do that.
And I will, I'll shoot it back around to the committee this evening.
Great. And then in terms of getting it posted Monday morning, Melanie, is that something you can do, or staff can get it posted? Thank you.
Yep.
Do you want to put it in a newspaper, put it on Monster, Indeed, any of that stuff?
You're muted, Scott.
We were going to do what we did last go around, which was we did business review. but maybe we want to think about doing business review and Times Union.
I was going to say the business review is not going to be read by a whole lot of individuals, especially right now. Or the print. I mean, I haven't seen a print version of that paper in a year and a half.
I agree.
Is there a way to post this on Monster? I mean, can you post an
It
RFP format
is a
to
little
Monster?
bit weird. I don't know.
But one of the postings I found, I think for Bethlehem Treasurer was on, I don't know what was Monster, but it was on some job site.
And I would probably also lean toward possibly Idealist. I know it's typically not for profits, but library, government, I kind of think in that vein, you're looking for people who are looking in this direction.
Okay, I may have to work. I'll talk to HR. I may have to work with them on how we're going to format this, but I'll make sure they don't change wording.
You know what you could do, Scott, was you could convert it to a PDF and put it on a non-public page on your website and just throw a link in it, to a document in one of those postings.
Yeah, we post all of our RFPs to our website anyway, so that would be where.
Oh, that's,
but
you
you
just have
definitely
you'd have it go to that live link, right?
Yeah, but you need to put some texting because no one's applying to a job that just has a link to it. So we may have to massage it a little bit to get it to meet that format. But Marjorie and Janet can definitely do that.
This
They've
is a
done
little
some
bit
of that
weird
in
to
the
put on a
past.
job site too, because you're not saying we're offering you a job at X. We're saying, tell us what you're willing to do this for.
Yep. We'll look at it and try to figure it out, and we'll update the group when we've figured it out.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. I just got the
I think
latest draft.
Okay, and I just realized I have the posting, the Bethlehem posting, which is a little bit different, but I'm just going to share it again. This is just with Bob and Sarah right now, but just in case it's helpful. Oh wait, no, Bob doesn't need that. Never mind. Scott. Okay, there we go.
Okay. I got the email. Thank you, Karen. Were we waiting on anything else, or is it time to ask for a motion? Okay,
Yeah.
I think we're good
I'll
then.
move.
Karen moves. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor? And I'm not sure if we're voice voting or if it's in board docs.
I'll enter it into board docs. You can just vote
Aye.
for now.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries unanimously. And that is the meeting. Thank you, everybody. And excited that this process continues to go forward. Thank you, everyone, for all your work on this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Coming around tonight. See you
Everyone.
later.
Thanks.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
Take care. Bye.
Okay, bye.